If you have ever felt lost in a sea of UPSC booklist or YouTube suggestions or Telegram PDFs, this session is for you. Let's be honest, in the beginning itself, UPSC is not going to reward those who collect more PDFs or materials. You're going to get the reward only if you can master the limited sources and revise them multiple times. And that's the reason why I always stress on this point. Read one book 5 times, be in a position to understand the concepts and have that clarity, and also be in a position to retain and reproduce. So today what I'll do is I'll share with you the most evidence-based list of almost 20 time-tested books for the UPSC prelims, which is backed by data and analysis of the last 5-year question paper also I can show you. And also there are insights from my mentees, almost 200 students who have cleared the prelims 2025. So they have followed this. So that is the reason why I'm talking about this. So 200 students, not random 5 or 10. So 200 of my mentees who have cleared the prelims last year. So they also followed the same, and it's evidence-based, it's backed by data. So I'll prove that also, and we'll be looking at the previous year questions also. So by the end of this lecture, you will know exactly what to read and why that's enough, actually, why you don't want to, go after different other materials. And also we'll tell you how to extract maximum value from each of these materials, from each of these pages. That is what ultimately which is required, right? So let's start with modern India, right? That's the easiest one, which is the most predictable, but still very much candidates, the students are very much afraid of, modern India in prelims, especially these days. Earlier, it was to be like cakewalk. But if you look at the books that you need, I'll suggest two, right? See, Spectrum. Everyone is following that. So that one is actually fine. But so Spectrum, a brief history of modern India. The latest edition, if you take, it is impossible for you to read that completely, retain things from that itself completely. So forget about reading any other textbook for modern India. Yes, if you want to complete this, retain the points and everything from this, and then you think about that. So of course you will not even think about that, because this itself is impossible, right? So this is one. And the second suggestion which I can tell you is the class 12th NCERT Modern India, or Modern India by Bibin Chandra. So these are the two sources which you need for modern India. Now, why I say only Spectrum and that's it and that's enough? Because, the numbers never lie. Again, based on evidences. I've analyzed all modern India questions from last 5 years, right? So there were almost 28 in total in the last 2022 to 2024, and 23 of them were directly answered from Spectrum. So I'm not talking about 1 year, I'm talking about 5 years. I'm not talking about, 50%. I'm almost talking about 80%. And the remaining questions that is not directly from Spectrum was linked to current affair. For example, in 2021, there was a question related to national anthem, which came from the contemporary debate. So that anyway, you cannot rely on any other sources also. That's related to the current affairs. So even when people doubted Spectrum after that, 2021's unconventional paper, UPSC returned to its usual trend in 2023 and 2024, especially in the case of history and questions were straight from the book. So if you are short on time, focus on 5 high yielding chapters in Spectrum. I'll tell you that also. If possible, try to read it completely. You'll get a holistic perspective. But if you are short on time, chapter 3, chapter 5, 8, 26, and 35. So together, they covered almost 10 out of 28 questions actually. So the strategy is you need to revise Spectrum twice or thrice or as many times as possible and highlight the page numbers where UPSC have previously lifted the statements from, right? And you don't want Bibin Chandra for prelims actually. In case if you want to have better perspective, that is where, that even the Spectrum itself, you can answer prelims and mains. And prelims, Spectrum is much better than Bibin Chandra. As it is in the note form, it is very easy it is easy for you to read and retain also. So Spectrum alone is more than enough. I repeat, Spectrum, that's it, that's enough. Now don't ask me Bibin Chandra. No, it's not required. Right? Struggle for Independence, is it required? That bulk book? No, that's not required. Spectrum, that's it. So we fixed one, right? I've given a choice also, but we fixed one, that's Spectrum. Now you complete it, and if you still feel like you have enough time and everything, go with that. But you will never be able to, even if it is in your 4th attempt, you will never be able to complete it and with proper retention that I I'm expecting, right? The next one. So we'll go with geography. So what's the books you need? You need class 6th to 12th NCERTs. More specific, if I want to go, physical and human geography of class 11th and class 12th NCERTs. And then go Ching Leong, that certificate of physical and human geography. So these two, class 11, 12 NCERT, go Ching Leong. Or if you want to slightly extend, again NCERT only 6th to 12th standard. That's it. Now, why? In prelims 2024, 18 questions came from geography. And in that, topics included atmospheric heating, troposphere, volcanic eruption, isotherms, and more. And the stunning part is most of them, and in fact, most of the answers were verbatim from NCERT and Coaching Level, right? Exactly like that. No confusion, no second thought, direct. For example, UPSC once asked, atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation than by terrestrial radiation, true or false? That kind of question. So NCERT itself states atmosphere is opaque to outgoing terrestrial radiation, but transparent to incoming solar radiation. So word to word identical. Verbatim, they've asked. Right? So I hope you got the point. So if the paper is theoretical, NCERT and coaching Leongs are sufficient. If it is application based, like what you have seen in 24, 25 questions, then, like questions related to wet bulb temperature or, global temperature indices, then it's related to current affairs. Like in history also, I've told you, it could be related to current affairs. So current affairs coverage from the environment and science updates, if you do it, these areas also will be covered. So the thing is that theoretical, which one you need? NCERT and Coaching Leong, in case if they are asking you questions like this. So how you'll cover that? That's from the current affairs. And I've told you we have specific current affairs alone test, not with the GS test module. Current affairs, 15 months, 15 tests, 100 questions each, 1500 questions. And 5 questions, compilation of 15 months, comprehensive 5 test and 500 questions. So total 2000 questions and 2000 topics with solution we cover. That will cover all these which are relevant for the last 15 months. Year, month, what I taught? Month, okay? Last 15 months. Now the next one is economy. So Indian Economy by Vivek Singh or TMH, Ramesh Singh or class 11, 12 NCERT. So this is fine. And if you look at 2020 and 24, UPSC have asked almost 80 questions, on an average 20 questions every year from economy, and 28 were almost, see, when it comes to economy, it's mostly current affairs based. Like, they have asked about sustainable aviation fuel, CSR, digital rupee, NFTs, right? And then there are core subjects like money, banking, fundamentals of economy. So the fun part here is if you study the first 2 chapters, that's around 60 to 70 pages of Vivek Singh with clarity. If you have the conceptual knowledge, or our class notes alone is enough, you can answer majority, 90% of the conceptual questions. Now, the trend is very clear. UPSC is asking deeper conceptual questions like corporate bonds, monetary policy, convertible bonds, capital flight, inflation index bonds, and so on. They're asking. So you don't want to be afraid of, tough looking finance terms. Instead, focus on the conceptual clarity. Once you have done with this, when economic survey is coming, read the important chapters from economic survey, and from the test series also that you're taking, you'll be able to cover. So the 2 chapters that I've told you, even that 2 chapters, if you are reading intelligently, that can actually help you to score higher than someone who memorized the entire book. Let me tell you, conceptual understanding is what matters rather than memorization when it comes to economy. Okay, and the next one, classic, easy, no need of my help, right? Indian Polity, Laxmikanth, Indian Polity, TMH. So you don't need the Bare Act. You don't need 10 different notes. Laxmikanth alone, if revised multiple times, is more than enough, and that's it. Just like Spectrum. No second choice, no other option required. So in the last 5 years, 84 questions, just like economy, almost 18 to 20 questions every year they're asking from Polity. And the gold nugget here is 70% of those out of 85, almost 60% of the questions came from just 7 chapters of Laxmikanth. Now you note down the chapters and spend your time on that chapters. Fundamental rights, Parliament, it's a lengthy chapter. Salient features of the Constitution, DPSP, Judiciary, scheduled and tribal areas, and current affairs linkage also. Like there were questions like schemes like PM Swanidhi, Ayushman Bharat, flag code, judicial custody, and then Aadhaar related questions. These were like current affairs linkage. So current affair linkage can come in polity, of course, it will come, economy, even geography also. I discussed that current affair linkage with environment and ecology, and then even in history also. So if you, again, let me tell you the 7 chapters I've told you, so that if you're short on time, you just need to keep revising these chapters deeply and repeatedly, and they will fetch you as many marks someone who read the entire book superficially. No one can finish it with absolute 100% conceptual clarity, the entire book. So random reading of the entire book, maybe 2-3 times you do, and specific reading of these chapters will you do, almost similar will be the mark, that I can tell you. Now comes CSAT, right? That's the paper 2. Many aspirants fear CSAT unnecessarily. But you see, if you have that analysis of, if you have attended any sessions or mentors, you might be knowing 68 out of 80 questions that they ask every year that comes from just 10 areas. Like you need to focus on that 10 areas: algebra, profit and loss, and percentages, and then data sufficiency, puzzles, coding, decoding, number system divisibility, sequence and series, statement conclusion reasoning, permutation combination, then geometry, 3D cubes, chess problems. These are the patterns, right? So these patterns repeat across the years and even across CAPF and CDS exams as well. Now, that's the other UPSC exam. So if you practice these 10 areas properly from a good source, like decode, any good source, TMH or whatever, you just need these topics to be covered, right? You just need to have a familiarity with this pattern because it's qualifying in nature. So it's very easy to qualify this. Now, what left? Ancient medieval. See, for ancient and medieval, consensus is always lacking. Just like what we discussed before, the history spectrum, Polity, Laxmikanth, those is lacking here. Everyone recommends something different. So you can go with a balanced approach from whatever my mentees who have cracked the prelims. So that's what the recent year who cracked and what they followed. That's what we need to know, right? We don't want what worked 5 years back or 10 years back. So ancient India, R.S. Sharma, NCERT class 11. Medieval India, Satish Chandra, NCERT class 11. And then themes in Indian history, 1 to 3. And then Tamil Nadu board book also, that's Sangam literature. And then for factual recall, you can go for Lucent GK. Why this is required, or why you want to go with this? At least first two you can go with this, ancient, medieval, NCERT 11, class 11. See, because UPSC asks mostly fact-based questions here, like the kings, the dynasties, and the literature and the art forms. So Lucent and Tamil Nadu board are unbeatable for such kind of recall questions. So if your existing sources are already strong, you can skip a few and you can still be safe, no issue. Next important area is art and culture. See, only one book is worth your time. That's Nitin Singhania's Art and Culture. So it's a heavy book in itself, 650 page, but don't panic. You don't need to read 5 other sources. Just read this one book multiple times. Highlight within the book itself whatever is important. No need to make notes so that you can keep revising it again and again. So the only revise the highlighted portion maybe 5-6 times, those important areas. So your goal is, if a question comes from this book, it should never go wrong. And remember, UPSC tests memory in art, culture, and not intelligence. So here, not intelligent guess or anything. Even if you want to make any intelligent guess, you need to have that factual understanding when it comes to art, architecture, ancient medieval questions. So revision beat variety. Revision is very important here. Okay. Next is environment, ecology, science, and technology. So here for environment, ecology, Shankar IAS, that's what a consensus everyone is looking after. And then science and tech, you can go for especially class 12 NCERT biology. See, environment and science are both like current affairs heavy. This is a theoretical things that you cover. Along with that current affairs, you need to integrate. And every year, roughly half the questions come directly from the news in this area, like the climate summits or the conventions or the renewable energy initiatives or the ISRO missions if there is, and if biotechnology advances. These are the type of questions which comes in the current affairs is what they used to ask. So read minimal static content when it comes to these, but have an idea, have the conceptual clarity, and focus on monthly current affairs, whether our our material Civil 360 or ZIAS or Vision IAS or PIB, and don't waste time when you're memorizing this outdated static data which you see in these textbooks that I've told you here. They'll ask you mostly current here, not like art and architecture. Okay, now these are the resources that you need to focus. Now, why only this 15 to 20 books? The most important part is the philosophy behind this entire list. Let me tell you, you don't crack UPSC by reading 50 sources once. Neither you will be able to complete, nor you will be able to retain, nor you will be able to reproduce. You can crack it by reading 20 sources with multiple revisions, having conceptual clarity with proper retention and reproduction. And you need to read at least 5 times. So let's say you do 3 rounds of revision of these 20 books. That's nearly 60 readings, and your mind build layers of clarity and interlinkages that helps in elimination, that help in concepts, that help in retention of the fact also. And you will revise faster next time. You will recall quicker, and you will remain, that confidence level will be high. When you see the book next time, you are familiar. But when you take a new book, you are not familiar. You lose the confidence. Here you remain confident. Even in exam hall also, even when you see tricky question also, you'll get that confidence. So this is how most toppers operate. So their mantra is read one book 5 times, read less, revise more. You're not here to be a material collector, right? You are here to become a district collector. And, that's possible only with focus and repetition. If you don't have focus, if you're going random, it's not going to work. Random motivation or random focus is not going to work. We need that system-based approach, and you need repetition, you need revision, you need retention, you need reproduction. So this is not my opinion alone. I told you in the beginning itself, I have talked to 200 of my mentees who have cleared the prelims last year, who are using these. These are the textbooks. And there is nothing controversial, right? Everything, mostly it is standard textbook only, whether it is ancient, medieval. I told about NCERT's art and architecture. I told Nitin Singaria. Polity, I told Laxmikanth. History Spectrum, right? And then environment, Shankar. So there is nothing apart from that. Some important chapters from India yearbook also. That towards the end, by February, I'll be updating that which all chapters you need to read for prelims from India yearbook. So if you truly want to clear UPSC 2026, the prelims 2026, let me tell you from here onwards, don't chase new PDFs every week. If something new is getting added to you from the existing ones, if you have these, it should be only monthly current affairs compilation and your textbook resources, nothing test series, solutions and other things. So stick to whatever you have like a disciplined soldier. Read it, revise it, and re-revise it until the information become your second nature, right? So guys, consistency is what convert ordinary students to extraordinary officers, not like random motivation or reading thousands of books or collecting thousands of books. You don't need 50 resources. Let me tell you this again and again. You need only one solid strategy followed consistently. We need system. We don't want random motivation. You're not here to be overwhelmed. You're here to outperform. And these books that I have discussed, that's enough. That's it. If you study with focus and repetition, that's your surest path to success. So that's about the session. If you're looking for any mentorship program or the test series or the classes, get in touch with us. See you there.